What's going on, everyone? I'm me, you are you. The pollen count is very high right now, and welcome back to What Remains of Edith Finch, where today it will potentially be the last part. Let's find out. Last time we left off, we were up in this castle, and it was getting a bit windy outside. So, the question is, where do we go from here? This is kind of a one-room area, so back down, I suppose, for now.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Where to from here? Back out, I suppose. Okay.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Okay, back the other way. Ah, do we go up? We might go up.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
In we go.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Ooh, computers. Interesting.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Well then.
He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
His mind began to what? I'll figure this out. Give me a minute.
wander.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats.
Okay. This is very hard to do two things at once. Whoa. That's cool.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Interesting, interesting.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
That doesn't look good. Oh wait, no, we're not going over the top, that's fine.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first.
Okay.
He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
As he did.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play.
These are some pretty sick beats.
He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Whoa. These are some very interesting levels.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Right. A bit too strong of an imagination then.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a
Handsome queen, of course.
handsome queen.
Interesting waters. Oh, I see.
The queen was on her own quest for
Radiant rainbows.
radiant rainbows.
Oh, sorry, rainbow. I'll go through this one.
He followed the sound of her
Electric guitar. Sitar. Electric sitar.
electric sitar.
Nope, missed that one.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Cool story.
Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Whoa, okay. Back to the real world for a moment. Is this our locker? This will be... maybe our locker?
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Well then. Am I behind myself?
The man with a royal contempt.
I'm guessing I'm behind myself right now. Hi there. How are you doing? You good? Yeah? You feeling okay there? Okay. I'll leave him to it. Let's go up here.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Are we about to fall out the window?
The
No, we're
palace
not.
would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
I like this story. This is a pretty cool one. I wish I had an imagination like this.
His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
This bit, I'm not so sure about. Can you just come over here? I mean, just pass it through, maybe. You know, just you know. I mean, I could just walk around these guys here. See, like exactly like that. I could just do that. No, okay. Let's see. This part, not so much. Cool gold.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I mean, you could probably train yourself to have a pretty good imagination, but preferably leave out that bit. Yeah. Still though, seems like a pretty cool guy, I guess. Neat imagination up until the end. I bet it was his locker. And I'll tell you what, because that went on a lot longer than I thought it would have, I think we can leave it there for today's episode. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.